What's going on, everybody? Jay Lawson here, the Black Statistician, and today I am going to be talking about, you see in the topic, stop bashing black women. Now you might say, well, what are you talking about? All right, well, this is what I'm talking about. It seems like there's a trend going on now where a lot of black men are making videos putting down black women, right? Now I'm going to ask you this. Do you see a lot of videos where white men are putting down white women? No, you don't. Do you see a lot of videos where Asian men are putting down Asian women? Hell no, you don't, because they would never do that, right? Do you see videos where West Indian men or Native American men are putting down Native American women? No, you don't. And, you know, in the Middle East, and I can tell you from firsthand experience because I've been deployed there twice in the military, they have a very low, in some cases, their hierarchy, the men are put above the women, you know. They have a lower opinion of the women than the men. And you don't even see videos with them putting their women down. So why is it that we see videos with black men putting down black women? The reason that's a problem is that it's going to create a trend where it's going to be okay to put down black women, right? And the only people that can prevent that trend and then you're going to see other races putting down black women. And the reason why that's going to be bad, the only way you're going to be able to prevent that is from within the community. You basically empower the people and make it to where you can't put down those people. You know what I mean? For example, if you put out a series of videos, 100 videos where you were bashing Asian women, you would be met by a large percentage of hate, a large portion of hate, you know. And you need to get that. That's because their community is strong. You need to empower your community from within, you know. You don't ask somebody else for power. You empower your own community. Now, let me tell you how bad this can get. Let's go back about, I don't know, let's go way back. Let's go to the late 1700s, early 1800s. A lot where, you know, when slavery was prevalent. Okay. So a lot of people don't realize, but what the British and the French did when they took over the ports into Africa, and once they controlled those ports, they were able to get on African land. And what they wanted was the riches that Africa had to offer. They wanted diamonds, ivory, slaves, you know what I mean? Whatever they could get, because they knew that the motherland had a vast amount of resources. It was rich in resources, right? So what they did was they started building relationships with the people there, in addition to taking over the area. A lot of people don't realize they educated blacks. What they did was they picked certain blacks to give education to and train them and teach them education. And then they also picked other blacks to teach about security and basically defense, right? And what that did by design was it turned black people against each other, because I know about security and defense, right? And you know about education. So now I don't like you because you know something I don't know, and I know something you don't know, right? And while we were in the midst of fighting one another, it created a situation where we were easier to manipulate and take over. And it created a situation where you had hate for people, right? And what that did was that it even enabled from within certain black slaves or certain blacks to sell other blacks or help the whites enslave blacks, right? You'll hear people say, well, you know, you should be bad at black people because black people helped the whites get the slaves and stuff like that. That was a very small percentage of what it was, but it did occur, but it was a small percentage. It was majority white manipulation, you know. But so my point is, while they were weak and not cohesive teams and units, they were easier to take over, right? And you know the results. I don't have to go through the next 100 years and the next 150 and 200 and how it affects us today. I don't have to talk about that because you should know that. But my point is, fast forward to the mid 1900s when Lyndon Johnson was in office and he pushed his welfare program to black women, right? The stipulation he put on that was that the black male couldn't be in the household. So in order for these women to receive this welfare, they might say, well, okay, what does that mean? But look what that did. What it did was it drove a wedge between black women and black men, right? And it caused some black women to kick their black men out. Like, say, if he didn't have a job or something, there's a reason to kick him out because they knew they can get that welfare, right? But what that did was that system tied that black woman to the welfare program. In fact, Lyndon Johnson said, you know, I'll have ends voting Democratic for 200 years. You know, he's been recorded saying that, you know. So you see what he was doing. And that and many other similar incidents is how the community became weaker and weaker, you know. That's one of the reasons. So you might say, okay, well, we need to fix that, right? Get people off welfare, have them work harder. And of course, some people need welfare. They can't, you know, they need help and stuff like that, right? But my point is, with all of this is, are we doing things do you think that today the wedge that's driven between black men and black women, do you think that's by luck or by design? And I'll let you think about that. But you can either be part of the problem or you can be part of the solution. Because some people don't care, you know, that, you know, in the black community, they don't care that they're against each other. But if you're one of those people that's out there protesting and saying, oh, we need to get better and stuff like that, and then on the other hand, you're bashing black women, that's hypocritical, you know. And I'm not going to be one of them guys that's up here like, oh, your mother's black and all that. No, it's not even about that, you know. It's just about looking at the bigger picture, you know what I mean? Because I understand that there's some problems with black women, but who doesn't have problems? You know what I mean? There's a multitude of problems with black men. Like I said in a previous video, out of the college graduates in the black community, 65% are black women. And guess what? Master's degrees, 71% are black women. What does that mean? Black men were sucking as far as being educated. We are sucking, you know? And the sad thing is when you ask, like, on average, what are we good at? You know, people start talking about sports and stuff like that, you know, that's a bunch of bullshit, you know. We need to get to the point where first we empower our community, you know, and from there, you have a strong foundation to grow. And then you can start talking about, well, okay, now that we're cohesive, let's band together and start businesses, create economies, actually create viable, you know, groups and subsections and things like that. You know, everybody wants to be like comparing themselves to, oh, look how the Asians keep all their money in the Asian community and stuff like that. We need to do that too. No, it's not a one-step process. You gotta actually have like a long-term goal and then fix the little things that are going towards that goal. And one of the little things is the wedge that's in the community. You need to get that out because it's self-perpetuated now, you know. It's been running off of the governmental volition for all this time, but now we're the ones holding the torch and keeping running with it, you know, continuing to bash them. And we need to stop that. But anyway, that's my rant for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Go ahead and give me a comment if you disagree or agree. And always remember, if you always aim at legendary, you will land in success. I'm out.